Hey guys! Alright, this is a little informal today. I'm from the hotel room amidst a month and a half of travel. So, I gotta move this way to be in screen. Okay. I have to sit back too because I didn't have time to fix all the Zoom and everything. But hi guys. Thanks for bearing with us last week while we were at GAMA. I'm going to fill you in today on some of what happened there and let you guys know about the new releases. I need my cheat sheet here. And by the way, since I am on Discord, I'm on Zoom, so I shouldn't have to worry about freezing up. Discord likes to freeze up. So, can you guys hear me okay? Whee! Can I make this full screen so I can see what I'm doing? No, I don't like that. Never mind. I assume you guys can hear me okay. My tracker looks like everyone can hear me. Looks like I'm super loud actually. I'm in the red, so hey. Cool. So I've got for you guys, let me look at my description because that's usually my cheat here. Ha ha ha. Alright, so BattleTech. We've got an announcement that was it's a little overdue actually, but this will be going out on social shortly. Surprise, Michael. Sorry. We have a new Mercenaries Army Painter set coming this spring. So I'll be working with Army Painter to get this all over socials. I got to see them at GAMA. They are awesome. They're so excited to do literally everything with us. So Mercenaries Army Painter set coming this spring, and you'll see all of that over socials. We have a render and everything, so you'll get to see that. Other than that, nothing real new since we talked last week, or 2 weeks ago with Randall, but we will talk about BattleTech on the surprise that I have you guys from GAMA. So, Shadowrun, Falling Point released last week while we were at GAMA. This is the threats book. So 10 new corporations and people, entities that you can throw at your runners. So we've got threats book. The link is in the description if you want to go there and spend all the money right now. Board games. Fandooble is a dungeon crawling, push your luck, treasure hunting. I don't even know if I'm still on camera. I'm moving around a lot. Yeah, fine. Okay. Push your luck dice rolling game. It's super cute. The art is great, and the pieces, you've got treasure, so it's shiny, lots of gems and stuff. The dice are real big, tactile, and basically the premise is that you are collecting as much treasure as you can, and you want to move it into your vault before all your friends steal it. And as you roll dice, you can choose when to stop rolling at any time. But if you get 3 dragons and don't have a knight or a wizard to help you defeat them, then the dragons take all of the treasure that is not in the vault. So you kind of choose how long you keep going and what the risk is worth. So it's a fast-played game, super pretty. The coins are shiny, the treasure is shiny, lots of color, and it's a lot of fun. That releases on March 20th. So that's coming up in, oh my gosh, March 20th is in 8 days, guys. It's next week. And then also, I just wanted to mention again, Parachute Panda. That launched February 24th or something like that. And it is on the Catalyst store now. We took that to GAMA, and Parachute Panda and Fandooble were like our goals to demo through the entire week. And people loved the art. For the retailers, they all saw our poster of a panda with an anvil falling on his head, and we're like, hi, I'm sold. Now tell me about the game. So it was a lot of fun. Really, really fun game, really cute, fun premise. So please check that out if you haven't yet. You're going to see that in stores, as well as on our store. Fiction, we have 2 fairly recent releases here. We have BattleTech, The Quest for Jardine, which is a Forgotten Worlds collection by Herbert A. Bayes. I am so sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. That is live on the Catalyst store now. And we also have Shadowrun Auditions, which is a Mosaic run collection by Jennifer Brozek, and you can get that on the store as well. Lots of plans for Fiction. Those are the 2 newest releases for BattleTech and Shadowrun. But we have, I'm caffeinated. I'm talking really fast, guys. If you couldn't tell. I'm just excited to get through everything. So, more is coming. We actually just got an audiobook kicked out from Amazon again. So we need to go get the metadata all matching up because they're mad about something. So we need to go fix it. Great. Well, there's not really any RPG news. There's not really any Leviathans news just yet. So that's pretty much a short update. So what I thought we could do, since I don't have a special guest with me this week, I was going to bring Mike on, Mike Ritchie, the director of the board game division, to talk with me about GAMA. But the thing about us being away from our desks for a week is that we're away from our desks for a week and have a lot to catch up on. So I gave him the time off, and instead we had one of our attendees that came with us at GAMA recorded our premiere presentation. So this is the presentation we give to the retailers where they can ask questions and we show them all the things that are coming. So a lot of this is not new, but you can see some of the stuff that we're talking about and get the experience of what GAMA is all about. So I have that video for us, and I'm going to switch it over to that, and then we'll come back at the end and do our questions. So feel free to hit anything in the chat. I will be active in the chat while the video is playing, and we'll be back. So I hope you guys enjoy, and here is our vid.
I'm the community and marketing director for catalystgamelabs. I think I have officially been with the company for 1 year. It's been quite an uphill learning curve for BattleTech. I had no idea what I was walking into. My background, I own my own production company, run Alternis Productions, and we run Kickstarters and do marketing for publishers and anyone that needs it. But so I had done a couple of Catalyst Kickstarters already, and then 2 weeks before Mercenaries launched, I got hired, and wow. So it's been a year. I've learned a ton. I will answer as much as I can, but I am still very new to BattleTech, so I'll do whatever I can here. We're going to go through all the different lines. I have a lot to cover, but I want to go pretty fast because what's most important to me, yes, I want to share information with you, but I'd rather hear from you in terms of what do you need, what support do you need, let's take notes, let's get better together at what we can do here. I went to Alliance last year. I have demo team agents. I have plants in the audience here. They took a lot of notes from me based on requests last year, and we have started leveling up. We have a flow chart now that you can get at the booth of like, great, they got the beginner box and a game of armor combat. What's next? If you are interested in the Shadowrun line but don't know where to start, we have the first couple of books there that of what to get for your stores. So we're starting to level up on some of that stuff, and every show you see us at from here on out, we'll have more and more and more. Good team I have. All right, so let's start. Of course, got to start on a high note. 40th anniversary of BattleTech this year, and there is a lot happening. More is coming out this year than I think ever before. We're super excited for what this year means for BattleTech and the community. So our standards, if you are new to BattleTech, I know I've been jumping right in because most people seem to know it, but if you don't know where to start, BattleTech is in a huge renaissance right now. So a couple of years ago, there was a Kickstarter called Clan Invasion. It was blown out of the water for our expectations and hit 2.5 million. That is about what we expected for the second campaign, which was this past March. So we had planned for about 2.5 million, maybe up to 4 if we were very lucky. We had hit $7.5 million before Pledge Manager opened. After Pledge Manager closed, we are sitting around 12 million. 25,000 backers just on Kickstarter. People want this, and people are new to this and coming in. So having the very basics in the beginnings is very important. So we've got, again, for those who don't know, Beginner Box is a great way to dip your toe in, see if it's what you want to do. It's got the quick start rules, a couple of minis, some fiction, kind of entry level to the world. A game of armored combat is classic BattleTech. So that's the crunchy rules that have happened. The rules really haven't changed in 40 years. The game stands on its own. Miniatures that are affordable and product that is affordable to gateway into miniatures life. Alpha Strike is the more rules light version of BattleTech. So a good pathway for people that aren't sure if they want the crunch of miniatures war game it might be good to get them into the beginner box, then Alpha Strike, and then over to Classic. But we have a flowchart for whichever way people want to go. And finally, we also have a partnership with the Army Painter, and they have created a paint starter kit for us for speed paints. So this is also a great way to get people into, if you want the beginner box and a paint kit, you can paint your first 2 minis right out of that box. Great way to get started. So this is kind of your retailer. Where do I start with BattleTech? This is where you start with BattleTech. Now, if you are, this is some of the new stuff for the 40th anniversary. I cannot stress enough how much the BattleTech Universe book means to the company, to BattleTech as a line, and to your new players. I am extremely overwhelmed as a new player to think, great, there's 40 years worth of lore and books, and I can't make that kind of commitment with my life. The BattleTech universe is the primer that has never existed for beginning players. It is. I was told by those who know the streamers for BattleTech, Big Red 40K. I talked to him, 40Tech now. I see him every week. He's helping with our YouTube channel a little bit, and he said to me, "You don't understand. This book is the most important book for BattleTech of this century." And I was like, "Okay, all right, cool." And he's like, "This book is the most important book of this century for BattleTech." So it is a huge deal. This is going to be great for your gateway players. Read this, and then you can start to fall in love with the factions. You can start to fall in love with the lore. You can start to see how it's all laid out, so it's not as overwhelming, and you can kind of choose your own path through. Yes?
So is it primarily fluff, or is there mechanical stuff?
No mechanics, is my understanding. This is the first time I've seen the book. Is they shipped this to us. This is like one of 2 copies that exist right now. So haven't gotten to look real deep yet, but my understanding is it is predominantly lore. Then we have, as some of you came up and saw already, so Universe is fulfilling with the Kickstarter, which is still on schedule for June. But we've got a couple of different products for the 40th anniversary that are launching at the end of the quarter, as long as the shipments arrive. Star League Command Lance. This is the force pack that has the Atlas 2, and it is the first in a series that we have that comes with 1 pre-painted mini. I have it up here. You can see it if you want to see it at the end of the seminar, or we have it at the table at the booth. We're at 218, so you can come see all of this stuff that I'm talking about that I have access to. So it is the Orion. So the Orion exists elsewhere as well. So if you don't want pre-painted, or you have customers that don't want pre-painted, they can still get the Orion elsewhere, but this one is for those that do want those pre-painted. We also have a new beginner box and a Game of Armor Combat. Now, caveat, this is the 40th anniversary covers, and they actually stand side by side and make one complete art piece. These are for people that already have them. Nothing new is inside except a clan update thing, and one of them, I speak BattleTech. Thank you. But everything else, the minis are all the same. Everything else in there is the same, but it's the 40th anniversary cover. So these are going to be the collector's items for your collectors. Bestsellers, Clan Invasion. Mercenaries is going to be a bestseller for a while as soon as it's out. And then who likes salvage boxes? We know. We have 400,000 on order with this Kickstarter, refilling the old ones with the new ones, everything. And we are going to be watching those numbers very closely to prepare for more reorders. This was another thing that was repeated to me 3 or 4 times by my content committee for YouTube. They're like, please, whatever you have, put another 0 on it. So we're not going to salvage boxes. It's gonna be a big year. And honestly, I only made this through August because I was like, this slide is gonna look silly if I keep going. So the list goes on through the end of the year. Who likes Shadowrun? Yay! Mike, our board game division director, is here, and he just wants to start fights with me. I came in from the Shadowrun side. So when I got hired, I have been working alongside Catalyst for a while, Kickstarters and stuff like that. I come from the Shadowrun side. 35th anniversary, very near and dear to my heart. For those who don't know, Shadowrun is cyberpunk, using that forever now. Cyberpunk fantasy TTRPG. I like to explain it as think it's Lord of the Rings meets The Matrix meets Blade Runner. It takes place 60 years in the future in our world. So you have elves, you have magic, you have all of that stuff, and the futuristic technology and weaponry all happening in a world that we currently live in. And since it's been 35 years, a lot of it has been very predictive. So you can go back and check and see how much we released, like in 2019 or something, there was a disease that wiped out a quarter of the world's population.
15, I believe.
15?
I think so.
Something like that. So we've been a little eerily accurate on some things, but 35 years of this wonderful game. I forgot the animation. So in honor of the 35th anniversary, we are doing a reproduction of first edition. This has been a passion project and a difficult project to scan everything in because there are no, we don't have the FASA files. So our artist has intricately gone in, spruced up whatever he needed to, but it's here and it's coming back and we're super proud of that. So first edition reproduction coming this year. We've got some of our staples that I like to talk about. Again, for those that are new to carrying Shadowrun, we do have the beginner box. Oh, question.
Is it a just straight one-to-one reproduction of first edition?
Yes.
Okay.
Including typos. We wanted to stay as close to true as possible. Yes. This is a collector's item, and we wanted to be as close as possible. I didn't come into Shadowrun until 5th edition, so I'm very excited for an opportunity to go backwards.
One question.
Yes.
Would it be hardbound or softbound?
Hard.
Good. Your softbound ones fell apart.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Most of our books these days are hardcover. So if you are looking to start with Shadowrun in your stores, we are on 6th World, which is the 6th edition. And the beginner box is a great place to start. It has dice, it has edge tokens, which function like luck. It comes with 4 pre-generated character dossiers, and there's a 5th one that is available for free as a PDF on our store. It comes with an adventure, it comes with a map that can be, it's really shiny and pretty and can be used as a poster as well of the sprawl of Seattle. It has fiction in it. Great place to start if you want to dip your toe in. From there, we have the core rulebook. So we have the current release is City Edition Berlin. So it's the exact same as every other core rulebook for 6th edition we've released, but the back of the book has a little primer for what's going on in 6th World in Berlin. The previous one was Seattle, so you got a little of where to start people in Seattle and some of the lore there. So all of your rules you need to kind of get character creation up and get a game running is in core rulebook. Then I included also, there's a ton of expansion books. You can keep, it's known for being a bit of a crunchy system. And you can keep expanding. You could play totally based off of the core rulebook, or you can say, man, I really like Deckers, and you can get the Decker book, you can get the Rigger book, you can get the Street Samurai book, you can get the Magic book, Street Weird. So you can keep expanding how much you want to as a player. But the one that I think that is #1 to get after the core rulebook is the 6th World Companion, because it's more character options. It's like a player companion. So you can, our base races or metatypes, as we call them in Shadowrun, are humans, elves, dwarves, orcs, trolls. And this gives you Sasquatch, pixies, like all kinds of stuff that you can build into the 6th World. Then, some of our new releases that we're super excited about. This week, actually, tomorrow, Falling Point is coming out. It is a threats book. So if you're like, man, I don't know what to throw at my team next, this is a great book for that. It's got 10 organizations and people that can throw a kink into all of your plans for Shadowrun and your team. You've got Scotophobia. Scotophobia is fear of darkness. So this is what can attack you from out of the shadows. Really great book. They've had a lot of fun with that one. And then Wildlife is our first ever I believe, in terms of Catalyst ownership. Monster Manual, these are the critters that can come at you. So there's ones that have existed before, there's brand new ones that you've never heard of. We did an article on ICD2, and there's a glowing squirrel. I was very excited about that. Its tail looks all cyberpunk. It's pretty cool. So there's lots of cool stuff in there. One of the things I will shout out to, a lot of our books, like Wildlife, come with a deck, so that, or you can purchase them separately. So if your player has a companion that is a critter, you can pull that critter out and have a quick access rather than rifling through the book and bookmarking everything and having 25 books in front of you to reference. So we do have a lot of those cards to be able to play alongside your character sheet. Games. We've got Shadowrun Edge Zone is now available at retail. Edge Zone, I like to explain Edge Zone as, I'm not so much of a card gamer like a Magic the Gathering or something like that, but I am Shadowrun. This game is a good gateway for Shadowrun players into card games and a good gateway for card gamers into Shadowrun. It feels very much like Shadowrun. You're taking your team, you're building a team, you're taking them on a run, you're facing different objectives. Oops, you triggered an alarm. Like all kinds of that stuff comes into Edge Zone. We have 2 boxes. There's 348 cards, I think, in each box. A lot of them have similar cards. But they are, the magic one also comes with sorcerers and shamans to summon spirits, and mayhem has your deckers, your riggers, the more technical side of things. Yes?
Is that a related product to Crossfire at all?
No. It's a totally separate game. This is actually a updated version of the 90s trading card game. So, and it's all compatible. So if you still have the old one from the 90s, you can put this right in with it. Then we have Shadowrun Takedown. This is a game in partnership with Lindvander Studios. The Kickstarter finished this summer. Pledge Manager is still open, so you can do pre-order if you want to. And it's you can play multiple different levels of it. You can do co-op, you can do versus. This board game also feels very Shadowrun. There's even some minis in it. But this feels very Shadowrun too, where like you can leave one of your teammates out in the car, and then they can kind of have oversight and coach you on like, there's a threat around the corner. Now, whether or not your team listens to that person is another story. Or you can, guys, you all can go in blind, and you're facing the threats as you go room to room. So both really great games. I'm pushing buttons. There is also, it's not coming this year, but we are roped in for a Shadowrun minis game. These minis and the Takedown will be compatible with that minis game. So we're looking at that for 2025 at this point.
You don't have an MSRP for Takedown?
What was that?
You don't have an MSRP for Takedown?
I don't. I could go get it, and I forgot to. Do you know it?
$79.99.
Well,
Here we go.
thank you. You're like my textbook with arms. All right, so we talked Shadowrun, we talked BattleTech. Those are 2 of our biggest lines. In 2023, we announced the new Catalyst board game division. I'm going to talk about you all the time now. All right, so basically the backstory here is Catalyst actually owned Rather Dashing Games and Redshift, who's done like Kittens in a Blender, The Duke, some really popular games. And with Mike's leadership, he convinced our CEO that really what we need to do is have divisions within Catalyst. We're growing big enough that we need that, and we need people to focus on those individual lines. So Catalyst board games came to be. I love the beaker updated with the die in it. Each of our lines now has a different logo with the beaker. So you get to see some of these. So some of our best sellers, Seasons of Arcadia came out last year. It is at the booth. We promoted this a lot last year at ACD and Alliance. This box sells itself. It's shiny, and people would walk past our table, kind of glance over and rubberneck back to that game. The premise of it is that it's super simple, but has depth of strategy, so it's got playability, like replayability. You've got the fairy lords of the different seasons, so spring, summer, fall, and winter, and they are competing to control the year of seasons. So winter wants all 12 months of to be winter. So you win by getting all 12 of your tokens on the board. However, spring hates summer, summer hates fall, fall hates winter, winter hates spring. You can only manipulate and interact with tiles of your season and that of the one you hate. The one who hates you, you cannot do anything against except try to like create ways that they can't jump your pieces and stuff like that, but you cannot directly interface with them. But you want to get more of the player you hate off the board. As you jump pieces, you get to replace them with your own, so you can get more on the board by jumping more pieces. So really colorful game. Even the game itself has that shine to it, so it's just a gorgeous game and sells itself. Kittens in a Blender, one of our best sellers. If you haven't played, you have cute kittens that I think it's one of the rules that we learned that at the end of the game, you go home and apologize to your cats. You've got a cat of a certain color. You're going to try to get as many of your cats in a box because cats like boxes, while getting everyone else's cats in a blender and pushing blend before they get them out of the blender. You know, for the kids. The Duke is a highly popular game, Lord's Legacy, and we came out with an expansion called Centurion. It was fulfilled last year on Kickstarter. It's now available. And it's the same game, different pieces with different strategy. This is like next level chess. And I'll explain what that means in a second. But when we had this set up on the board last year for our demos and stuff like that, people would stop and be like, is this the Duke? Duke is popular. Centurion, again, expansion on that. So how it works, you've got a board smaller than a chessboard, but you start with 3 pieces on the board. 1 is your Duke, 2 are your, or the Centurion, 2 are your Legionnaires, because I've played this more, so I know the pieces. But what happens is on each token, it has the moves that piece can make. Once you move, you flip it over and there's different moves it can make. So it's like chess where it can only move certain ways, but then you have to anticipate because there's different moves the next time you move the piece. Really great game. Very good sit-down strategy game. New releases this year so far. So we've got Overlords in Training is fulfilling on Kickstarter. It's in print right now. This game is very near and dear to Catalyst's heart. Randall Bills, who's a prolific game designer for BattleTech, his son, this is the first game he has created. He's 17 years old. He's autistic, and like Randall as a family building this game with him, this has been very near and dear to him. And honestly, it's a really great game. Basically, you are each overlords in training. You each have your own special powers. And you take actions to take each other down a peg while saving resources to fight the ultimate boss, Mike.
No relation.
I was waiting for it. And if you don't attack each other enough, since you're in training, you have to hit certain milestones as Mike checks in on you, or else he gets angrier, which makes him stronger. So it's a really great balance of conservation of resources while spending resources against your enemies. Really great game. All of the art is also done by Kenyon Bills. So the entire game is designed by him. Great way to support neurodivergent creators. I'm going to jump to Parachute Panda first because that's how my neurodivergent brain works. Parachute Panda is a fantastic game. This one is also near and dear to our hearts because our CEO, Lauren Coleman, lost his son last month. This was the last game that he designed and it was ready for production. So Connor Coleman and Mike Ritchie designed this game. I'm gonna tear up while talking about it here. And it's fantastic. So everyone loves pandas. The artwork brings people in on their own. We had people at the media event yesterday that were like, I see a parachute, or I see a panda with an anvil falling on it. What's going on? So basically you have panda skydiving, because of course they would. And they happen to be tricked and they are skydiving over a crocodile pit. So when they realize that, they realize that they want to be the last one to land so that the crocodiles eat all of their friends and fill up on them and are too full to eat them. So you're trying to knock your friends lower, you're trying to raise elevation on you. Sometimes cake cancels an action because cake.
Sometimes cake cancels another action because more cake.
Yeah, more cake. So it's a really easy game to learn. It's 2 to 6 players. A lot of fun. You know, the artwork is great. The plane is driven by a crocodile, so you get like those little details where it's like, that's funny, and I love it's the totally safe skydiving company. So a lot of really cute aspects to this. The artwork is phenomenal. The cards are hysterical. Lots of replayability with that. I love this game. Fandooble, I just got to learn here this week. Fandooble is a push your luck dice rolling, dungeon crawling, treasure hoarding and stealing game. Oh, and Mike has it in the back. If you want to put it on the table, you can. This is another great game. If you have this laid out, you'll see it at our booth. We have a table with it unpacked and out. Oh, you actually have the pieces. Shiny stuff. Sells itself for that. The coins are shiny too. The dice are huge and tactile. Basically, you have a dice that's got a wizard, Fandooble himself that will steal treasure, a knight, and the knight can fight some dragons, the wizard can override some dragons, but sometimes you roll 3 dragons and you can't do anything about it and they're going to steal all your treasure you've been saving. Meanwhile, all your friends can also steal your treasure, pieces of your treasure. So it's a lot of fun, really cute artwork again, very shiny, sells itself. I work with a genius, so I'll never say that out loud again. So, who knows Snoop Dogg? Snoop Dogg and Master P are making a board game, and we made it for them. So we have the Snoop Cereals Get in the Game crowdfunding campaign coming to BackerKit. This is going to do phenomenally well. I mean, you put Snoop Dogg on anything and it's going to do phenomenally well. So we don't have a lot of art. We're still building campaign as of right now, but it is coming soon. We do also have with that QR code. We also have postcards at our booth if you want to take one with you or several with you. We have plenty. But coming to BackerKit, Snoop Cereals, Get in the Game. Coming soon. So as I said, Board Game Division deserves resources. We have a license with Kung Fu Panda. We are coming out with a card game and Poe's Dumpling Dash, which is going to be in Barnes & Noble.
I'll know after my meeting with Barnes & Noble.
Cool. Kung Fu Panda, I mean, again, great IP, gonna sell itself to the kids. Flippin' Ninja is a new Redshift game. One of the things I love about Redshift games is they're the ones that make this and, you know, the ones that have that dark overtone to it. So very funny, dark humor. Redshift is phenomenal. I can't wait. I haven't seen Flippin' Ninja yet, but I'm very excited for it. And then Voltron, we have the license for. We just announced this at PAX Unplugged. We will be making, I'll just talk about the board game right now. We're making a board game, ...
It's cool.
It's a good board game.
Of course it is. You might look at it.
It was similar to Wakening Lair.
It's built loosely off the Waking Lair engine, but it's been significantly updated to fit the Voltron universe.
Yeah. There is absolutely a mechanic. I got to play test this a couple weeks ago. There's a mechanic where everyone in the group has to shout "Form Voltron."
It's in the rules.
It's in the rules. You have to do it. Oh, guys. Who remembers Shadowrun Crossfire? Who remembers Dragonfire? Next iteration. We just announced this past Tuesday, 1 week ago. We have partnered with Paizo to bring Runefire. I have a box up here. It is a mock-up. This is not the final artwork, not the final logo, not the final anything, but we wanted to have something to get people excited because it's worth it. So similar engine, but very specific to Runefire. It's been great to work with Paizo on this. They're letting us play in terms of a pocket of their world. to world build within this. So we're really excited about Runefire. This is coming to Kickstarter this year. So watch our socials. By the way, I called this Tuesday Newsday because as of 4 weeks ago, we started a weekly YouTube live stream that I host with a special guest from Catalyst, or a designer, a developer, whatever. And I interview them each week and we talk about the upcoming releases. So that's a great place to get all the news of what's coming with this. The internet lit up within 10 minutes of us announcing this. It was not posted anywhere else, and we started getting articles, we started getting requests for interviews. This is going to be a big product. Yes, sir?
Can I just say something real quick?
No.
No, so Paizo's been great, and great to the point where they're letting us play in Galarian, the world of Pathfinder, to the point where the lore that is generated here is Pathfinder society canon. So this really is, it's not just a one-off card game, this is going to generate Pathfinder lore. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, very excited for this. Also, shout out to Michael in this room for this awesome graphic. Fiction! Something that we would love to see more in stores is fiction lines, is our fiction lines, no one else's. So we have, again, 40 years of BattleTech lore, fiction coming out constantly. We have audiobooks, we have Shadowrun, we have, we're actually doing new covers, updated covers for some of the old fiction from the very beginning. So the Never Deal with the Dragon series is back in print with brand new covers. We also have collector's leatherette versions. And honestly, there's just so much here. Like, there's great trilogies and series and individual novels to start with. And I'm very excited for the audiobooks. So, company I talked about at the beginning, my company, we produce the audiobooks now. We just took them over. And we've got like narrators like Jason Charles Miller, Luis Carrazzo we're contracting with, who's been on Critical Role. We've got a audio drama coming with voices like Stephanie Shea, who was Sailor Moon. Like we're very excited for the audiobook line and the boosting through that. We also have the fiction collection for Leviathan's Armored Skies. So as that comes closer and closer to fulfillment this year, I'm excited to see how Leviathans can grow because there's such a following from the original. All right, so another, also, did I put it? No, we didn't put it on here. Fiction has a logo too. I just haven't added it yet. It's got a book in the beaker. But now we've got the brand new Catalyst role-playing division with Sword in it. So we announced this new role-playing division at PAX Unplugged. It is being led by Jason Hardy, who has been the Shadowrun line developer for quite a while now. So he is moving up. We are starting to get more RPGs than just Shadowrun and BattleTech. So one of our first big licenses is Voltron. We are coming out with a book for the old version and the new version. So wherever you like to play, whatever your favorite is, you can play.
Yes, that includes vehicle Voltron.
Yes. So this is another way that Voltron is being brought to you this year. Next year, we are also working on a Voltron miniatures game. So that's going to be a lot of fun as well. So this will be coming to Kickstarter later this year. We're thinking probably fall as of right now. The end! That's the last slide. I didn't know. I was hitting pretty hard there. The other thing I do want to say about the role-playing games, though, I thought I had a couple extra slides on this. We have a brand new dice core system that we've developed. Jason has put a lot of time and statistics into this. Basically, you're going to use your standard D4 to D20, but you're going to need multiple sets. Basically, every roll you make is going to start with a D8. That's your base roll. Then you're going to get, let's say, I can't remember the exact specifics, but an attribute and a skill. So if you're going to use your strength, maybe your strength is a D6. Maybe your unarmed combat skill, I'm using Shadowrun reference here, is a D12. And then based on different gear, armor, abilities, enhancements, things like that, you will get upgrades and downgrades. You can spend those upgrades and downgrades on any dice you like. So you can change your original D8 into a D12 or a D10. You can change your D6 to a D4. So you're constantly changing out dice for your rolls based on your skill sets. So Voltron is going to be in the dice core system. We are also working on a brand new game setting that is one of our people's creations. It's called Wizard Riders. It's basically Sons of Anarchy with magic and jousting on motorcycles. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We did actually do an actual play of that at PAX Unplugged, so you can find that online if you want to. But I'm really excited for the dice core system. It was really interesting to run it. I learned it an hour before I had to live stream it in front of the international internet, and it was great. So I'm really excited for this and to see what comes for the RPG division.
All right, guys, I'm back. So yeah, that's all the news. A little sneak behind the scenes. If you guys want to see the booth, we did on Instagram, I did like a little 1 minute walkthrough of like, look at the booth behind me, or on YouTube under the videos. One of the most recent videos is about a 5 minute where I walk by each of the tables and you can see what we have at the booth. So feel free to watch that. But I think we are ready for questions. So I know my friend Dave has been keeping them for me. Let's go find them. Wee. Oh, look at these. They are even by category. Man, Dave, you are organized. All right, so BattleTech questions. From Jasmine, do I have a favorite mech? So far, so one of my challenges with people and with mechs, if I like, you could tell me all the different names and some of them might stick, but until I have an experience with them, I won't retain much. So the experience that I had that was the most fun so far was in a grinder, and I upgraded twice to a Daichi Widowmaker. And everyone immediately that had been kind of nice and like, "Aw, you're new," they all turned fire to me, and the damage they did to me could be called cute. Um, so I really enjoyed that because they'd try to hit me, and then I'd be like, "I blew you up." So that was fun. That was the moment for me where I was like, "Oh, I get it. I get BattleTech now. This is fun." So that's my answer. Starleague Command Lance still on track for quarter 1 so far. Yes, I don't know for sure if it's at the warehouse yet. If it's at the warehouse, then it will be at Adepticon. If it's not at the warehouse, it won't. So I know we got a couple things sent ahead of time, so we would have samples for like Gamma and stuff like that, but I do not remember which is where. So I'm hoping that it will be at Adepticon. Maybe I can give some news as I hear some stuff. If you join our Discord server, sometimes I get on there and just uh type. So while I'm with the team over the weekend, and because everyone's getting here, I think Friday, um, and for setup, then I can start as I hear things, I can release things and let you guys know. What Army Painter paint line is that new Merc Paints set? Ooh, you know what? If you bear with me 1 second, I just got the press release for it that Randall sent me. So maybe I could go find it. Let's see what he says. Partnership with Mercenaries, utilizing the Army Painter's new War Paints Fanatic line and the improved Speed Paint 2.0. So, yay! I had an answer to that one. Will there be more briefings like the Crescent Hawks training video in the near future? Thank you for that. My company worked on that, and I got to pull in some of the BattleTech um, pros and fact checkers and stuff like that. I worked on that before I worked for Catalyst directly, and my life got turned upside down. So, Fresh Prince reference. So yeah, I would like to do more. I have a content committee that started to assemble so that we could kind of write policy around sponsorships and affiliate partnerships and things like that. And I do want to get back to it, but I don't have time to produce videos like I used to. So I want to, but if I'm not driving it, it doesn't happen. So when I have time and I would love to get back to that. Let's see. Oh, yep, we need to check. I need to follow up. Let me see if I have an answer to this. The Starly Command Lance was on the slide at $25. Is that correct, or is it 35? Let me see if I have a quick answer by scrolling up in. No, I don't. I do not have that handy. I have the SKU for it, but I do not have the price. So I'm gonna have to follow back up on that one because one of those two is wrong and I don't know which. Let's see. From Ian, was there any news on the BattleTech Force Packs that have been exclusive to some of the US stores getting a wider release? The only exclusivity we've had so far is BattleTech Essentials at Target, and then the Barnes& and Noble Force Packs, which I believe right now, my chair is squeaky. ADHD, sorry. Which I believe all of the ones that we've had with Barnes& and Noble were only for 6 months exclusivity, so nothing should be exclusive at this point unless we make a new arrangement with them, which we don't have currently. They're interested in continuing to partner, but all of our plans for Force Packs were basically devoted to the Kickstarter. So nothing new at this point to exclusivity. Target is still exclusive at this point for essentials, but everything else should be publicly available. All right, Lev's questions. I don't think I'm gonna have too many of these, but I'll try. From Prussian Havoc. Well, Gen Con 2024 will see Mercenaries as the center ring for CGL. How does Leviathans figure into CGL's Gen Con plan? Uh, believe it or not, we aren't great at planning early, despite efforts. So we do want Leviathans there. We do have events scheduled that the demo team is way more on top of than the booth presence. That that is there. So I know that we want a nice we want a nice fixture, we want a nice display, but some of that means printing locally, which is an expense. I can't talk. But we do want to do more. I don't have much to share about that yet, other than like I want to make sure that that is big for marketing purposes and for the release of Leviathans. I'm very distractible right now, and I see Dave typing all of my notes for me. So Dave, you're doing great. Don't stop what you're doing. Um, I'm just distractible. Let's see. Uh, Prussian Havoc also asked, with the current reorganization of CGL demo agents, what is the plan for Leviathan's demo agents moving forward? Rob DeHoff is still our lead agent, and he's been scheduling events. I jumped into a call with him and Bryn. It was before GAMA, so a week and a half ago, talking about the Gen Con events and seeing like, do we want to like, how would a grinder work if we want to do that? Is there something similar to like I haven't seen the rule book to Leviathans yet, so explaining this is hard. But they talked about a bunch of different events that they want to do and who would be in charge of them, and getting them submitted and everything else. So I know that Rob is still looking for demo agents. We want Leviathans to be big enough to support, and take to other minis conventions as well. You know, NovaCon is in the summer. It'd be great to have Leviathans there for demos too. Prussian, can we please have a Leviathan's edition of Shrapnel and an expedited Leviathan's fiction submission process and email address? Because BattleTech is wild. I like the idea. I can pass it on. It would be to our fiction director, which I know that he's got like his assistant director. I don't know what the titles are, but Phil helps review and make Shrapnel pretty much happen. So we would need something similar in terms of someone to support John for Leviathans. I'm sure he's open to it, and I'm hoping after Adepticon that I'll have John on for I had to boot him since Randall was coming on 2 weeks ago, but he wants to get on and talk about fiction. So that'd be a great question for him in the week that he is on the show. Shadowrun, Two Drunk Dwarves says, any news on the Shadowrun release, the next Shadowrun release for Roll20? Um, I don't know. That would be something I'd need to follow up with RJ and Jason on as the developers. I know periodically I get message like, "Hey, new thing on Roll20, please promote," but I'm not sure how and why that process works. Um, I know that the Roll20 team is who builds a lot of that out for us, and so it depends on their capacity versus our capacity and everything that goes with that. So I don't have a good answer for that one. Um, but we can absolutely look into it. And I can say nothing is like there's no contract signed, but there have been conversations with partnering with other VTTs as well. Um, a lot of meetings happen at GAMA, so yeah, don't know yet, but we're open to pretty much anything right now. All right, let's see. Let's see. So, other, Rem, you've supported many a convention. What was the biggest difference when it came to a vendor event like GAMA? It's a different animal. If you ask me what my favorite event is, like cons and trade shows, I don't know how I would answer. In terms of trade shows, GAMA is the biggest. And the organization isn't perfect. But the people that go, like it is the biggest networking event for the industry. Like if you're a retailer, if you're a publisher, you need to be at GAMA. The conversations we had, like being able to connect with Painter, with Chessex, with Fanroll, with Foam Brain Dice, with Monster Fight Club, with gosh, trying. Leah was there, who's our Chinese manufacturer, and had the Timberwolf there, the big boy. Um, Oh, even had I shared it in the last meeting I was in, but Pack Miniatures gave me samples, and they're like beautiful miniatures that like they're like, hey, if Leah's backed up and can't get stuff done, we can help. So just beautiful stuff. Um, so you get to it's just a ton of networking. They have a diversity mixer, they have a fellowship program. I actually taught a crowdfunding course for GAMA this past year via Zoom. Um, it's pretty great. So in terms of trade shows, that's what that is. But the vendor hall is a lot more, your retailers are the people that you are pitching to instead of customers. So the way you pitch stuff is a little bit different. You're not set up to do sales, or some people are, but we aren't. So you're just talking about product and getting people excited, and retailers are excited to about what you're carrying. So the hall was big. There was a lot of great stuff there this year. So really loved GAMA this year. I've said actually that even if Catalyst never did a booth at GAMA again, I would 100% go to GAMA just for the networking opportunities. And like you meet people in the industry that you see the rest of the year. And I think last year at GAMA I met like Alexander Stangroom, who's the CCO for Kobold Press, and like because I met him there, we became friends at through every other event we were at. And the amount of partnerships that come up and opportunities are great. In terms of cons, I like the networking ones too. Gamehole and Gary Con are my favorites because a lot of industry people go. It's the industry's fun con. Um, so while like Gary Con is mostly D&D focused, you get people from all kinds of publishers and stuff because they just want to go and have fun. So that's what I really like about that. Um, Adepticon, will sales start Wednesday like the last 2 years? I'm gonna assume so, that they're not gonna do anything different. The nice thing is that we are actually gonna all be here early for KarinskyCon, which is our big kappas from the Kickstarter. We throw a little thing for them and bring in some special guests and stuff like that. So um, we're gonna be there early, so I'm hoping we're set up in time to do that. I don't see why we wouldn't. But I might have to let you know for sure as I get that info. Um, I was gonna say, oh, I know one of our guests. So we're gonna have people who are gonna be at Adepticon and KarinskyCon. I'm not sure if they're gonna be at both, but I'm gonna say the names anyway. So Jordan is going to be there, the creator of BattleTech, for one or the other. I'm not sure if he's going to be there for both. Michael Stackpole will be there. Brian Young will be there. Um, I think Big Red Hat is going to be there, so you can say hi to him. I'll see you at the airport in 2 days. So yeah, we've got some really nice special guests. Michael Sierravella is going to lead the streaming side, so if you can't make Adepticon, you can still see all of these people and have everyone talk about all the everything on Twitch or on YouTube. That's where we are. Improvement request. Written transcription of the highlights of the video. I think it's a great idea. I'm not going to promise it immediately because right now, like what I need for this show, honestly, as a producer, right now it's just me. And it's the time I have to whip something together and get everything together and do the thing. I need someone that can do the editing. I need someone that can do a transcription or do the edits for a transcription or whatever the case might be. And it's just me right now. And this is pretty much all the time and energy I am able to give. I did make time over the past week and a half to go in and put the timestamps so people could find stuff. So I'll keep doing that, but in terms of transcription, I can't take that on right now. Last minute stuff. Ryan asks, any news on BattleTech Encounters game or Aces? I haven't heard anything on Encounters in a little bit, so nothing new to share there. For Aces, I know that there are conversations happening about expanding beyond Alpha Strike and including Classic, but I don't know a timeline for that. I don't know. I don't know. So we'll see. But I know that they're still working on the dev. I know that there's a conversation about it maybe being a Kickstarter. Um, I know that there's so much, there's also Succession Wars that has been talked about in that way too. And one of the things, I might make people mad here, I don't know. But one of the things that I pressured for was they were thinking about doing like an Aces Kickstarter by the end of this year, at least for Alpha Strike. And I was like, I don't want to get into fatigue, like financial fatigue, spending fatigue for our BattleTech fans. So I'd rather have like an every other year where we can get so excited about BattleTech rather than like, hey, we're pushing everything out the door and have no strategy behind it and no plans. So whatever the next Kickstarter will be, we'll make sure it's as fun and exciting as this one. So it might be a combination of things. I don't know yet, but that was my 2 cents for let's have a strategy. But we talked about this a lot at Gamma too. But like we've actually heard Lauren say this in meetings where our strategy up to this point is usually ready, aim, shoot, ready, shoot, aim. That's it. Ready, shoot, aim. And sometimes I feel like I have to be the adult in the room that says no. All right, let's see. Oh, it is 5 o'clock now, so I'll take one more question. Let's see. So, Prussian, any plans for a Leviathan's live stream segment at Adepticon? I'm not sure. Because so I'm not going to be at Adepticon, so I feel like I was about to say I'm not going to be at Adepticon, so I don't care. But I passed it over. I passed the streaming over to Michael Sierravella. He's fantastic. He's a good face for us. So he is organizing the content calendar, and he is going to um he's been scheduling everything and I really haven't checked. I know Bryn will be there, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's Leviathan's content. But actually what I can do real fast before my brain forgets is I can say, Michael, Lev's content at adept question mark. And so it'll at least be on his brain to think about. So message sent. All right, guys, that was an hour of caffeinated talking for me. Thanks for sticking it out with me. But yeah, I try to be transparent about where we are and what we're doing. So if there's any other questions, feel free. I will be streaming next week because the event doesn't start till Wednesday. So I will I'll make sure that, and especially because KarinskyCon is over by then and we'll be in full setup for Adepticon, so I'll try to get at least one of the team, if not more than one, over um for the for Tuesday Newsday. So who knows who I'll have next week. Maybe I can even show a little bit of the setup and you can see all the cardboard boxes and chaos that we've got there. So but thank you guys for joining me, and I will see you next week.